YouTube channel. Let us share the link, subscribe to the channel, and let us do as wise prepare for the exam adequately. So, in the last video, we ended on this part where we said we're going to continue from the monopoly, answering questions from the monopoly. So, the first question was saying, what is monopoly? So, a monopoly is simply a market structure that has a single firm that dominates the market, and that firm is a price maker. Okay, those firms are price makers. Those features of a monopoly can be used as a definition. You can define it in however way you want. It's not necessary that you define it according to how you search about it or how the notes tell you. Okay, explain the condition necessary for the existence of the monopoly. So they're basically telling you to just tell them the features of the monopoly, or yeah, the conditions that are necessary that are there. So for the existence of a monopoly to be there, a firm must be a firm that is producing unique goods. It means that that is a firm. That is a feature of a monopoly. So a firm should be the only firm that is in the market, dominating the market. The firm should be a market price maker. That firm should also have uh, influence over the market price, like I'm just from saying. Okay, so just listing the what's this, the features of a monopoly are the conditions that are necessary for the existence of the monopoly. Okay, you have to list those. Question two. Question two says, what is the supply curve for a monopoly? Cutting the story short, there is no supply curve in the monopoly. Why is that? The monopoly faces a demand curve that is downward sloping. So a monopoly has to choose, can choose. Of course, the monopoly, we say the monopoly has market power over the market, but it cannot choose both the quantity and the price at the same time, because it is constrained, or it is limited. The budget, the what's this, the demand curve acts as a budget line or budget constraint, which restricts it. It cannot choose both at the same time, but it can choose this one and check the price from the demand curve, or it can choose the price and check the quantity from the demand curve. Okay, so there's no supply curve. Question three is saying distinguish between the perfect competition and the monopoly. So distinguishing between these two perfect market structures, you just have to understand. I've been talking about this actually. You can try to refer in other videos, the video about perfect competition and monopoly. Okay, so cutting the story short, just illustrate the what's this, the features in the perfect competition and the features in the monopoly. Example, you start with saying a perfect competition market structure is simply a market structure that has a lot of firms, and it is a price maker, I mean price taker. These firms that are here, the price makers, because they cannot influence the market price on their own, while in the monopoly, these guys are price makers and they will be a single firm. Okay, these guys can influence the market price, but they cannot choose whatever price or whatever quantity they want, because they are the budget the budget, I mean the demand curve is the one that uh, tells them what quantity to choose if they choose the price, and what price to choose if they choose the quantity. Okay, so question 4 says, what is meant by the deadweight loss? How is it associated with the monopoly? So it is meant by the deadweight loss is that it is simply the loss in the warfare when there is inefficient allocative uh, efficiency. Okay, what we mean is that in the monopoly, these guys produce lower quantity, and they set the market price to be higher than the marginal cost. So you find that the quantity is lower than the quantity is lower, then the price is higher. This part that remains here is what we call the deadweight loss. You find that people still want, then people are never satisfied with what they want to buy. You find that they're not satisfied, and for that reason, the loss is created in the monopoly. Okay, so we move on to question 5. Question 5 is saying, suppose the following demand and the total cost function of a monopoly are given. So I've been given these two. Been given these two, I'm sure you can see them clearly. We have that function and we have that function. The question is saying determine or determine the equilibrium quantity or for a monopolist. Uh, yeah, what price will be charged in this equilibrium condition. So we know that the condition that we're going to follow for us to find the equilibrium quantity is marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. So this is the condition that the monopoly follows. So we have to check, do we have marginal cost? Do we have marginal revenue? So here we do not have marginal revenue, but you can find marginal revenue because we've been given demand curve, the demand function. From the demand function, we can try to find the price there, and we try to find total revenue from there and marginal revenue from the total revenue. So we start with the price. We say quantity is equals to 300, 620. So if we equate this, we get this, we take it the other side. Since we're trying to find the value of P here, we get this, we take it the other side. So we say quantity plus 3 and minus, by the way, sorry about that, because that's this one will go the other side, so negative. So we have negative 20 p. So we divide both sides by 20. We divide 20, negative 20 there and negative 20 there. So that will go, that will go. So the p is equals to 20 divide 360 divided by 20 to give us 18, minus 1 divided by 20, it will give us 0.05 as our quantity. So we found our price there. Okay, we found our price. So we can find total revenue from this price by just dividing by 80 by quantity. Okay, by Q. For us to find total revenue, because total revenue is simply quantity times price. So we multiply it by quantity, we have 18 Q minus Q 0.5 Q squared, because this one will be squared. Then we differentiate this to find our marginal revenue. If we differentiate it, we're going to have 18 minus this 0.05 times 2 to be 0.1 Q. Okay, so this is our marginal revenue. So now we found our marginal revenue from all these things that we are just from doing. We found our marginal revenue. What do we do next? We have to find our marginal cost. You find our marginal cost by just differentiating the total cost function that we have, that total cost function. If we differentiate 6 there, 6q, we are going to have 6 remaining. If we differentiate 0.5 q squared, what are we going to have? So it's 0.5 times 2, we are going to have 1. So now we have this condition: marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. What we need to satisfy this. What is our marginal revenue? Found that it was 18 minus 0.1 q is equals to, what is that? Well, we found that it was 6 plus 0.5, I mean 0.1, sorry, 0.1 just. So, and since it's just 1, so I'm just going to put q there. Okay, so having that done, we can just see that we can try to find factor, I mean put the like terms together here. This will come the other side. If we subtract, I mean if we get this one, we take it that side, we have to subtract. If we subtract 18 minus 6 to give us 12, this plus that to give us 1.1 q. We divide 1.1, we divide 1.1, our quantity is going to be it is going to be 10.91. Okay, we just rounded it off. So this quantity that we found, you take it if you want to find the price, because we need to find the price here. That price, you take it, you put it on the equation that we found, that the price, that one, if you put it there, your price is going to be 17.45 as it is rounded off. So that is our price. for the next thing. Move on. Okay. uh so let us move on to the next question, which is 6 here. All right, so question 6 is saying a monopoly faces a market demand curve given by P. Okay, so we've been given the demand curve as this P is equals to uh, for 42Q, just like that, and its marginal cost has been given as Q. What is the equation for the marginal revenue? So marginal revenue, we said that for us to find since marginal revenue is not the same thing as price, for us to find marginal revenue, we have to find revenue first. So total revenue is going to be given by quantity times price, and then if this is the price that we have, we multiply it by quantity. What are we going to have? We're going to have q squared. So q squared differentiated by that, we're going to our marginal revenue is going to come out as 42 minus 2 squared. This can just, if without even wasting time, if you don't want to calculate in the monopoly, you just have to know that the marginal revenue is twice deeper than the price. So you can just you can just double the number that is here, there, you just double it. That's your marginal revenue. Okay, then our marginal cost is here. And then to show on the graph, what you have to do is, on the graph, what you're going to have is the marginal revenue is going to be, you have 20 something, 20, I mean 42 or 42 there, and then we're going to have the 42 minus 2q there as our marginal revenue, and then our price is going to be 42 minus q there. So that is how it will be on the graph. You draw it like that. Okay. Question B is saying find the profit maximizing level of production for the monopoly. So the condition is still stands to say price marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. So what is our marginal revenue? We found our marginal revenue to be that. What is our marginal cost? Our marginal cost you've been given as that. So we just equate this to Q. We get that, we take it the other side. We're going to have 42 is equals to 3Q over 3 over 3. Our quantity is going to be, so 42 divided by 3 gave me 14. So that is our quantity. If you are asked to calculate price at some point, which is here, of course you've been asked to calculate price, so you just get this 14, you replace on this q, this q. So we say 42 minus 14, it gave me 28. Of course the price can be 28, so we can have the market to be here 28, and then 14 there as our quantity, and 0 there as quantity and price. So this is how your full graph is going to look like, even though it's not clear enough, but just try to understand it from there and try to draw it on your own. Okay, I'm not trying to spoon feed you guys, just trying to make sure that at least you're set for the exam. Okay, just few things to go. If you exam, I mean few what's this questions to go, just 3 questions. Okay, so to continue with what you're saying, what price and quantity would be socially optimal? So what we mean is we are going to move out from the monopoly, we go to the perfect competition. We know that perfect competition produces at the point where price is equal to marginal cost. So this is the condition we're going to follow. Okay, so now what price is it going to be optimal? So we follow this condition. What was our price? What was our price? What was our price? Our price is our price. Where is it? Our actual price is seen this one, right? Our actual price is that's the equation for the price that we have. We have our 42 minus quantity is equals to quantity there, and then for us to find quantity, we just say 42 is equals to this one plus that we have 2q there. like that. We divide q there, we divide 2 there. Our quantity is going to be 21. We get this 21, we replace in that equation for price. This equation for price that we have to say price is equals to 42 minus quantity. So if we replace 21 there, our answer for price is going to be 21. So this is our price that we found for the socially optimal. And moving on to E was saying what is the monopoly's total revenue. So the monopoly's total revenue is going to be found by um, the same thing that we've been doing. Total revenue is simply quantity times price. So we get our price, the price that we have, this price that we have, we multiply it by quantity. That the answer that we're going to find, that would be our total revenue. Then question F says graph the producer surplus, consumer surplus, and the deadweight loss for the market, the monopoly. So graphing this, we just have to draw something like that. We have, okay, so we know that here what we had here was the price was equals to 42 minus q, and here we had marginal revenue was equals to 42 minus 2q. We have quantity there, we have 0 and the price there. 42 is what we have there. We are going to have our marginal cost there, and following the market, our quantity that we found for the monopoly was 14. For the perfect competition, we found the quantity to be what, 21, and the price that we found here was 28, and the price that we found for the perfect competition was 21. Okay, so as you can see here, the monopoly is charging higher prices, but it is producing lower quantity, and the perfect competition is charging lower quantity price, but it's charging producing higher quantity than the monopoly. And for that reason, the deadweight loss is going to be formed in the monopoly, while the perfect competition will cover everything. This part is the consumer surplus for the monopoly, just this part, excluding this other part. So this is for the monopoly, and this is for the perfect competition. To understand everything that happens here, you should watch other videos. Okay, but otherwise, this is the consumer surplus, and that is the producer surplus. This is the consumer surplus for the monopoly, and that is the producer surplus for the monopoly down here. And then the consumer surplus for the perfect competition is all this part to there, and there's no part that is being left here. And for that reason, the deadweight loss is eliminated in the main in the what's this in the perfect competition, while it is incurred, or it is created by the monopoly. Okay, thank you for watching. This is the end of this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the video with your friends. Okay, otherwise, have a blessed exam preparation. Hope you pass. Okay.